Scroll-driven 3D is the trick behind a lot of award-winning landing pages. You scroll, and a 3D object reacts in real time. It looks expensive to build, but it really isn't. The whole effect comes down to a single idea, and we'll build it from scratch in about 100 lines of Three.js. Here's the finished effect. Watch the bar at the top fill up as the page scrolls down. The shape spins toward you and then bursts into light. Now watch it scroll back up. The animation runs in reverse, because every frame is just a function of how far down the page you are. The secret is to make the entire scene a pure function of one number between 0 and 1. 0 is the top of the page and 1 is the bottom. We'll scaffold the app, write the scene, wire it to the scrollbar, and finish by blowing the shape apart. Let's build this as a real project. Scaffold it with the command line npm create Vite using the vanilla template. Change into the folder, install, and then add 3. With Vite, importing 3 just works, with no import map and no script tags. There's the structure: an index.html, a package.json, and a src folder with the entry point. Open index.html. Keep the essentials: a full screen canvas, a thin progress bar, and the module script. Then add a few full-height sections with captions. As each one scrolls into view, we fade it in so the page narrates itself. Now the scene in main.js. Import 3. Everything from here is a pure function of scroll progress with no clocks. Grab the canvas and create a WebGL renderer, then a scene and a perspective camera. Add an ambient light for fill, and a directional key light so the facets catch a highlight. The hero shape is a low-poly icosahedron with flat shading. Lay a wireframe shell over the top so the structure stays visible while it spins. Now the particles. 1 point for every vertex, each with a pre-computed outward direction, so we can fling them out later. A few easing helpers, a linear interpolation, a smooth step, and a span that remaps a slice of progress back to 0 and 1. Here is the heart of it, render AT. Clamp progress, then move the camera. It dollies in and lifts as progress climbs. The rotation comes straight from progress, not from a clock. So the same scroll position always produces the same frame. The background hue drifts from deep navy toward violet with a single interpolation. Then the shatter. In the back half of the scroll, each particle is pushed outward while the solid surface fades away. Render the scene, and keep it sized to the window. Now wire it to the scroll bar. Scroll position over the maximum scroll distance gives progress. We update the bar and reveal each caption as it arrives. Finally, a loop that eases toward the target each frame and calls render AT. Save, and the shape answers your scroll bar. And that's the whole thing. About 100 lines, with no animation library and no timeline. The first half of the scroll spins the shape toward you, and the second half scatters it into particles. Three things to take with you. First, make the scene a pure function of progress, from 0 to 1, with no clocks anywhere. Second, map the scroll bar to that progress and ease toward it for smooth motion. Third, because the scene is a pure function, you can render it straight to video, frame by frame, with no jitter. If this helped, give it a like, subscribe for more browser builds, drop a comment with what you'd build next, and share it with someone learning Three.js.